Football Friday, there's no place like home. 3 WAC teams win big in front of their home fans. Fear the FCS, Stephen F. Austin puts a scare into Texas Tech. Tarleton's Tariq Bitson is master of the 2000s.
Impossible. Very odd thing.
Plus, we look ahead to some big games this week. That's all ahead on WAC Football Friday. Welcome to WAC Football Friday. I'm Eric Danner. It was home sweet home for 3 WAC teams as Sam Houston, Abilene Christian, and Tarleton won their 3 home openers by a combined score of 168-28. Let's start with the number 1 ranked Bearcats hosting Southeast Missouri. Quarterback Eric Schmid added 3 more touchdown passes along with 243 yards through the air. Sam Houston had some very big plays. Ramon Jefferson leading the ground attack with a career-high 153 yards and 2 touchdowns, including this gem for 70 yards. The defense also added another pick 6. Jalen Thomas going 49 yards for the score. Bearcats roll 52-14. Freshman kicker Seth Morgan also blasting a 50-yard field goal just before the half. That's the longest Bearcat field goal since 2015. Morgan is named Ticket Smarter Special Teams Player of the Week. In Lubbock, Stephen F. Austin putting Texas Tech on upset alert. Cornerback Willie Roberts goes 18 yards for this pick 6. The Lumberjacks lead the Red Raiders 13-7 at the half. Fourth quarter, Trey Selfridge to Bray Young for the score, but SFA comes up just short, falling 28-22. In Abilene, the Wildcats hosting Louisiana College. Big day for redshirt freshman quarterback Stone Earl. He goes 18 of 19 and tosses 6 touchdown passes, the most by an ACU QB since 2013. Earl is named Ticket Smarter Offensive Player of the Week. Abilene Christian rolls 62-7. We go to Stephenville. Fort Lewis traveling to Tarleton. The Texans rush for 347 yards and 5 touchdowns in a 54-7 rout of the Skyhawks. Junior linebacker DJ Harris gets 13 tackles, a sack and a half, and a safety. Harris is named Ticket Smarter Defensive Player of the Week. Saturday was also the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks on the United States. The Lamar football team paid homage with the new decal celebrating the red, white, and blue. And at Dixie State in St. George, the 466th Fighter Squadron had a spectacular flyover before the Trailblazers game against Weber State. Number 1 ranked Sam Houston will have a bye this week. Head coach Casey Keeler told us at the WAC football preview he thought it was important to have bye weeks to keep the team fresh after playing in the spring. Stephen F. Austin returns to Nacogdoches and will play Jerry Rice's alma mater in Mississippi Valley State, while Abilene Christian stays at home and entertains UT Permian Basin. Both of those games start at 6 Central and both are on ESPN+. Lamar and Dixie State will both be on the road this week. The Cardinals travel to Greeley, Colorado to take on the Ed McCaffrey coached Northern Colorado Bears. UNC and Lamar are both 1-1 on the season. That is a 2 p.m. Mountain Time kickoff on ESPN+. Dixie is at UC Davis. The Aggies are ranked number 14 in the FCS and are coached by Dan Hawkins. That game starts at 7 p.m. Pacific on ESPN+. Our featured game of the week is Tarleton playing Southern Utah, a future WAC member. That game will be in Arlington at Globe Life Park, the former home of the Texas Rangers. The Texans are 1-1 to start the season. They are second in the WAC, averaging more than 460 yards of offense per game. Daniel Wright is second in the WAC with 160 yards rushing this season. Quarterback Stephen Duncan is third in passing yards. Defensive Player of the Week, DJ Harris, leads the conference in tackles. This will be the first ever meeting between Tarleton and the Thunderbirds. Southern Utah is 0-2 after losing to FBS opponents San Jose State and Arizona State. SUU will join the WAC next season. The action gets underway at 6 p.m. Central and will be on ESPN+. Coming up next on WAC Football Friday, we talk with Tarleton head football coach Todd Whitten, the winningest head coach in the history of the Texans, who also has a lot of experience in the WAC. We'll be right back.
In the WAC, we value sportsmanship on the field
and in the stands.
We take pride in playing fair and being honest.
We honor the game by showing respect for our opponents,
the officials,
the fans, and our team.
Great sportsmanship is about taking ownership after a loss
and being humble after a win.
We want you to team up with us by staying positive on the sideline.
Because great sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
Welcome back to WAC Football Friday. I'm Eric Danner, now joined by Todd Whitten, the head football coach at Tarleton State University. Coach Whitten, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Coach, you're starting the season off 1-1, 2 games under your belt. Can you give me an assessment of your team after 2 games?
Well, I think we're in a pretty good spot. We're playing hard. Great effort. So I'm really pleased with that. We went on the road and opened with Stephen F. Austin, a team that we're very familiar with. And at times we played pretty well. We came out of there with some guys that made some real improvement. And I think we made improvement overall as a team. We turned it over 3 times, which you really can't do in a close ball game. Got beat 20-10. And then last week we hosted Fort Lewis, and we made improvements and played better, and we were able to come away with a win. But overall, I like where we're at, and we've been able to learn about some of our young guys, and so we need to be getting to where we are playing, getting close to mid-season form. It's still a little bit early, but we're going to play a really good Southern Utah team, and so we need to make more improvement. But I like our team. We've got good foot speed. I think we have a chance to have a good season, and so and that can be difficult sometimes during the transition. But I think we've got a good football team.
You mentioned the win over Fort Lewis this past weekend, 54-7. Linebacker DJ Harris, the Ticket Smarter Defensive Player of the Week. He had 13 tackles, a safety, a sack and a half. He's really turned up his game this year, hasn't he?
Absolutely, and he's a really good young player for us, and he's been playing since his freshman year. So we're really proud of him, and we've got a lot of young guys. We're playing about 20 freshmen every Saturday. So not all of them are starters or full-time players. Some of them are, but so we certainly kind of have a youth movement a little bit. And so with that, we've got a really good senior class. And so they're kind of helping us hold things together here.
These seniors, Coach, when they came in, did they have an idea that they would be playing Division I football by their senior year like they are right now?
Well, I'm pretty sure we probably told them that, but as coaches, we didn't really know. We were just out recruiting and saying whatever we thought would help us. And so, we had drawings of a renovated stadium, which is now renovated and done, that we showed these kids. This was 6 years ago. And so, these guys are super seniors, if that's the way you say that, and a lot of them. And so when they got here, we weren't very good. We did manage to go 500 our first 2 seasons, and then we went 12-1 and 11-1 and won our league. And then we hired Dr. Hurley, and within just a matter of weeks, we joined the WAC, and very thankful. I think the WAC is just an incredible opportunity for us. I think it's a great conference, and filled with really, really good people. And so we just couldn't be more happy, for this opportunity. But no, these seniors they're ecstatic now to be playing a full Division I season, and so many blessings.
Coach, you got to play at home this past weekend, and having a full crowd. I know you played in the spring last year, didn't have that opportunity maybe to have that kind of attendance. What did that mean for your team and just the atmosphere there in Stephenville?
Oh, it was huge. And I don't know if you've ever been to Stephenville. If not, you should come visit.
We will be there, I'm sure, in the next few months, if not the next year.
Good. But we have great student involvement. We have a great community in Stephenville, and we have a really good fan base. And so our stadium was full. I don't know what the head count was, but it was full. The tailgating areas were completely sold out. And so it was a great atmosphere to hold a college football game. And so I love playing at home. As a football coach, we're thankful every Saturday, wherever we get to play, but it's always special to be a part of this Tarleton atmosphere. And so our guys were excited. And, after opening the season on the road, they were happy to be back home.
On the offensive side of the ball, Coach, you were able to rush for 347 yards in that win over Fort Lewis. Daniel Wright, 115 yards in that game, second in the WAC in rushing right now. Is that your style of play this year? Is that going to be ground and pound, or does it kind of depend on the opponent?
Well, yeah, all of the above. If you go back and look at us over the last 3 or 4 years, we run the ball well. And in 2018 and 2019, we were in the top 2 or 3 teams in the country rushing the football. So it's who we are. And for us to reach our goals, I think you got to run the ball really well. But usually we're kind of balanced, but probably a little heavy on the run side. And so when we've been really, really good, we've run the ball a little more than we've thrown it. So I was glad to see us be able to go and do that. We only ran for 90 yards against Stephen F. And so, I had regrets that I didn't call more runs, that we didn't run the ball a little bit more. So we're going to try not to let that happen again. But we got a lot of guys, some opportunities to carry the ball, and a lot of really good work for a lot of guys on our team.
Big game this week as Tarleton faces Southern Utah, a team that will be in the WAC next year. That's going to be at Globe Life Park in Arlington, Texas, Coach. And those kind of games where you get to play in a big stadium like that has a little extra juice, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's, great for these guys that play college football, and great venue. And so, these kids have worked really, really hard. The Southern Utah guys, our guys. And so I think it'll be fun. I spoke with Coach Maskell over at Midwestern. They played there last Saturday night against Commerce. And he said it's a really, really good venue, and it's well run. And so I think this is going to be a really good thing for everybody involved.
As far as scouting Southern Utah, Coach, here's a team that they played a couple FBS opponents to start the year in San Jose State and then Arizona State, a top 25 team last week. What have you been able to glean from the game tape so far?
Well, I think they're very well coached. They play hard. They're solid in all 3 phases. They went 1-5 in the spring season, and the 5 losses, every one of them were like a field goal or less. I mean, they could have been 5-1 just as easily. And so they've got a good squad. They've got number 8, a great linebacker on the defensive side. They've got a great offensive lineman, both bona fide NFL prospects. So I've been really impressed watching them, and I think they've got a good football team.
We're talking with Todd Whitten, the head football coach at Tarleton State University, the Texans head coach. He's been there 12 years, but Coach, this is your 3rd time around. Kind of an interesting path back to Tarleton, leading them in Division I. Kind of tell us a little bit about your journey.
Well, we had some really good teams here about 20 years ago, and we made the playoffs, and we had really good records. And I got the opportunity to go and be the head coach at Sam Houston, and I went and did that for 5 years. And I guess after the 2009 season, I was fired there, and then I was an assistant coach for 6 years, 5 or 6 years, and bounced around a little bit. And then, got the opportunity to come back to Tarleton, which really, over my 33 years of coaching college football, this has been my absolute favorite place. And I would say this is home. And so I got to coach my son. He was on the team. He was a senior. And so, what a special thing that was. And I had barely ever seen him play, as I was off coaching. And so it's just been such a blessing. And, Tarleton's just been so good to me and my family. And so, I don't have any idea why they brought me back. But, nobody goes somewhere for a third time, right? So it was just a blessing and probably something I didn't deserve, but very thankful that they gave me this opportunity and trusted this great program over to me, and it's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of success, and now, you know, the greatest part of it is this new journey with the WAC into Division I, and you know, I think we're going to do great.
Yeah, never burn any bridges, Coach. That's something I always tell people that I work with. At the same time, Coach, you mentioned the WAC. You were in the WAC when it was, you know, a different conference. I mean, it was same name, but you're at Wyoming, UTEP. You've had some experience in the WAC before.
Yep, I have great memories of the WAC and traveling around to great venues and you know, playing at Air Force and BYU and going to Hawaii and just so many. You know, the WAC's been a great league for many, many, many years, and so I'm excited. I just think there's so many new and really cool things ahead of us in the WAC. You know, in all sports, but putting together our FCS league for now, and which I think is going to be one of the tops in the country, and defending national champ Sam Houston's in here. I can tell you, we played Stephen F. Austin 2 weeks ago. They're a really good football team, and so I think the WAC will be represented very well. I think we're going to have a really good football team as well before it's over, and so you know, I think the WAC's great, and everybody in the country knows about the WAC, and so, you know, what a great way for all of us to get started with a new football league with a great brand name like the WAC.
You mentioned, Coach, you spent some time at Sam Houston, also Stephen F. Austin. You're in the Hall of Fame there as a quarterback, so maybe that's another wrinkle. Maybe people don't know too much about you as a football player, and that you spent some time in the NFL as well.
I enjoyed a good career at Stephen F. We had some good teams. We were conference champs my junior year. I will always remember that. I've got a ring for that. That was a special time. I was a free agent with the New England Patriots. And after the first practice, I knew without a doubt that I was not good enough to play in that league. However, I enjoyed the 3 weeks, maybe a month, that I was allowed to stay at camp. And Tony Eason was our starter. Steve Grogan was the backup. And the third guy was a guy named Tom Ramsey. And they were really, really good guys. And they were really nice to me. So I was the free agent rookie. You know, I would go down and throw routes to the receivers or to the secondary guys, or, you know, just whatever needed to be done. You know, a lot of people refer to me, the people like that, as a camp arm. And that's really all I was. I took a few snaps in one preseason game, but there wasn't any doubt. I had a good college career, but I wasn't going to make it in the NFL. But I do cherish the time I got to spend there, and I went back and even played in the strike a few months later, back in 1987. So was able to make a little money to help fund grad school, and so but a lot of really good memories.
And also as a baseball player, Coach, you got drafted by the Phillies.
Yeah, and really that's probably where most of my talent, if I had any talent, was on the baseball field. I just didn't really enjoy baseball, and I loved the camaraderie we had, you know, on our football teams. I like, you know, the week-long practice gearing up to one game on Saturday night, and I knew at an early age I wanted to be a football coach, and so I really, really had a passion to play college football, and very thankful to a guy named Jim Hess, our head coach at Stephen F. back in those days, for giving me the opportunity.
Coach, I want to thank you for taking some time out. I know it's a busy week with your big game coming up against Southern Utah, and good luck.
Thank you very much. My pleasure to be here.
That is Todd Whitten, head football coach at Tarleton State University. We'll be right back. WAC Football Friday. At the WAC Football Preview, we asked some players and coaches to identify items in pop culture over the past 20 years. Here's what some of the Tarleton folks had to say.
Let's go. Oh, that's Oprah Winfrey. Ed and Eddie. Backstreet Boys. Oh no, NSYNC. My bad. LaDainian Thomason. Oh, that is a Razor. Motorola Razor. Ring Pop. Nelly. Friday Night Lights. Oh, that is. Oh, what is his? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Kaepernick. Kim Possible. Fairy Odd Parents. Up. Brian Urlacher. Coach Carter.
Oprah. Ed and Eddie. I don't know that.
You know who this guy is?
Nah, who that? Oh yeah, okay. LaDainian Thomason. Flip phone.
You know what kind of
what'd you get? Motorola?
Yeah, but what kind of actual, what's the name of the phone? You know?
Nah.
It's a Razor.
Razor, okay. Ring Pop. Bow Wow. Yeah, Bow Wow. Who is it?
You recognize the Band-Aid?
Nah, I don't remember. It's at the tip of my tongue now. Who is it?
Nelly.
I knew that. Friday Night Lights. Colin Kaepernick. Kim Possible. Fairy Odd Parents. I know this movie. Up and Away. Brian Urlacher. I know this movie. What is it? Coach Carter. Okay, yo.
That's it.
Tariq about to beat me.
That does it for this episode of WAC Football Friday. Make sure to check out all the games on Saturday, then check back here next Friday for another episode of WAC Football Friday.